Hi guys, Michelle View with Invictus Fitness. We're here today talking about the feet and feet mobility and why that's important.
Rotating to the hip.
New runner.
We get into it, we'll get into a little more detail on each, but number one reason is to prevent injury, and whether that be injury up the chain or prevent us from falling because our feet are stiff and we can't get them into safe positions. Those are two ways that we're going to prevent injury with this. So that mobility in the feet is going to allow us to get into positions for our lifts such as squatting or receiving a clean or even our setup position for the deadlift. And by being able to get into that position in a more efficient way or even into the correct position at all, we're going to prevent injury up the chain. So we're taking a lot of stress off the knees because of that, therefore off the lower back and on up. So that's one reason why it's important to work on the foot mobility. Another one is, especially as we age, things get stiff and people don't really work on their feet. So they turn into these like basically blocks of cement that we're walking around on. And imagine trying to walk around on uneven surfaces, or let's say you go down to the beach and you're walking around kind of in the pebbles, in the tide pools, or even walking up and down stairs. Walking around on cement blocks is clumsy and it's going to get in the way, and it's a high risk for falling. And the third reason that we've actually talked about a lot in our classes recently is that creating the internal and external rotation for different movements. So on the squats, we're externally rotate at the hips, and we're actually squeezing, or should be squeezing, our feet into the ground to help create that torque in the hips. And also the opposite, right, with the deadlift, internally rotating. If we don't have that mobility in our feet, then it's going to be a lot more difficult to create that torque. Okay? It can also come into play in your sport of practice, especially things like jiu-jitsu, and where you're really having to use your feet to control your movement. So all around beneficial activities. We're going to do a few simple ones today. We're going to start with the toes, and we're just going to try to raise the toes up into that thumbs up position. And then we're going to put the toes down and put the big toes down and little toes up. And we're just going to try to go back and forth. And when I first started doing this, it was really hard to do this one. So you might have to just concentrate on it and see what you can get your feet to do. It might not happen right away. And spread them apart. Basically, you're just trying to do all kinds of stuff with them. If you had a pin, you could try to pick up your pin or something with it. Another one that I like is, I call it like the cat treading. You know how they're like this? All right, so we're going to do that with our feet. We're going to squeeze them up, arch them up as high as we can, and press them down to the floor. And I've had some of my clients with plantar fasciitis do these foot drills as well, and they've found that it really helps with relieving the pain and regaining some of that mobility down there. So we're going to do a few reps of that, and then just kind of move the toes around and spend just like 2-3 minutes a day working on that, and see if you can notice any benefits in your positioning or even pain for some of those ailments like plantar fasciitis.